The Amazing Adventures of the Animalistic Spider-Man. Part 1, The Wrath of Venom. 7 p.m. Narrator, Peter at Science Museum. Starts taking pictures of MJ's butt awkwardly. MJ looks at Peter, making for an awkward scene. Lady at Science Museum starts talking about a super radioactive enchanted beast of a spider that recently escaped captivity. Meanwhile, a science guy is microwaving some ramen, pulls it out and notices a spider. The science guy notices that Peter's back is turned, so he promptly puts a spider on the back of Peter's neck. When Peter gets bit, he flips out and goes ape man all over this whole operation. Ooh. Narrator, 911 gets dialed and immediately paramedics show up with tranquilizer assault rifles. Needless to say, Peter gets tranked out without a doubt. Peter wakes up in a straitjacket, with handcuffs on. The sight of himself enrages him, so he bursts out from his restraints. This captures the attention of a nearby black security guard. This black security guard pulls out his walkie-talkie and radios into the White House. Black security guard, tell the government that we've got ourselves a psychonoid mutant freak screwing off all our stuff. Narrator, the government shows up and surrounds Peter with 10 suited men. Immediately, they started faffing about with their 9mm is out. Peter used his spider senses to matrix the bullets. Government paid agent, no fair. No one told me that we were up against Keanu Reeves. Narrator, Peter used his webs to destroy all of the laser pistols that the government was using to destroy him. Then, he jumped onto the ceiling and crawled his way out the building. Peter fled to his room so that he could begin theorizing about how mutated he had just become. Peter, how mutated could I really be? Single mutated? Double mutated? Triple mutated? Quad mute? 5 mute? Narrator, there seemed to be no end in sight for Peter's thought pattern. To consolidate his brain as he theorized, Peter put on his thinking helmet. Enough time in the helmet gave him the power to know his next action. Peter, I have a morning plan. All I can do now is hope that my half-armless science professor will agree with my informed decision. 6 a.m. Narrator, as Peter gazed across an evening sunrise, he reflected upon his life and what he had to do. It gave him pleasure to imagine what he would tell his half-armless science professor to do this Monday morn. Half-armless science professor, make a black, symbiotic, scientifically irradiated barrel of garbage goo? Peter, do you have any idea what you just said? You're getting straight A's in my class and you're one of my brightest students. Of course I can get the goo to you. 7 a.m. Half-armless science professor, I got the garbage goo in a barrel, now before you go diving headfirst. Narrator, Peter interrupted his half-armless science professor by diving headfirst into the barrel of garbage goo. Half-armless science professor, I was just about to say, that's a symbiotic non-nucleic acid. Stuff like this in nature is easy to bind, but becomes hard to unbind. With his back turned to his professor, Peter spouted. Peter, this is how I damn you. 8 a.m. Narrator, Peter was feeling fine, so fine that he started using his newly black goo-covered body to hit on women, or foxes, as he called them. 8:30 a.m. Narrator, the sting of rejection is far too much for Peter to bear, so he opens up the ape man inside himself and gets hyper all over the city. Not too long after that, New York's finest get called to the scene. Officer-in-Chief, fire on sight. Fire on sight. That's all right. Narrator, the officer-in-chief said to no one in particular. Pretty soon, the police had Peter in a bind, which he got out of in less than a minute. Peter fled to a church bell. Inside of this church, a man by the name of Lee Harvey Oswald was performing his daily ritual of sacrificing innocent goats and praying for vengeance when he hears the bell toll. Peter was banging that dong like no other Kong, and as he did the goo did too. It fell off Peter's body and dripped onto Lee Harvey Oswald. bathing him with satisfaction. Lee Harvey Oswald, I have this. Power is a good power. For vengeance. I'll call this goo poison, as it poisons my naturally pure intentions. Narrator, with his newfound power, Lee Harvey Oswald set out onto a path of rampaging destruction across the city. As this was going on, Peter fled to his room in order to theorize about life. Peter, I need a spandex. Narrator, so, Peter made a skin-tight spandex suit. A lack of confidence was nowhere to be seen. Peter. Narrator, so, Peter made, for himself, a skin-tight spandex suit. A lack of confidence was nowhere to be seen. Peter, with my new power, I will protect anything that I'm interested in. Narrator, just then, Peter could hear the cries of his Aunt May who was downstairs. Aunt May, no, 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 oh I know, you always were quite a cop, why heck, even I dated you and I wasn't too pretty on the eyes either. But, you're retired now and you have no reason. Uncle Ben, I ain't got time for your mouth woman. This man's got a 357 that's going to answer the call that I just received from my retired police officer's commemorative ham radio, so I heard all about that black-suited ape-like destroyer who's mangling the town right now. It's time for me to fight black-suited men and chew bubble gum at the same time, and I'm all out of gum. Narrator, Peter stripped off his suit and ran downstairs. Peter, no Dad. I can handle this beast of a man. Trust me, I've got the power, the spider power. Uncle Ben, sorry, but I forgot the part where that was my problem. Narrator, Ben was headed for the door. At his pace it would take him 20 more minutes to reach his destination. Aunt May, no, 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 I became Catholic just for this reason. I'm Catholic. And if you won't accept that then I guess you'd better leave. Narrator, Peter fled to his room and adjusted his suit and put it on tight. It fit just right. Narrator. Narrator, Peter fled to his room and adjusted his suit and put it on tight. It fit just right. Peter jumped out of his window. He was just in time to catch Uncle Ben without spectators. Uncle Ben, wow Pete. With that new suit you really could beat this black man senseless. Peter, sorry. Uncle Ben, wow Pete. With that new suit you really could beat this black man senseless. Peter, sorry, but I forgot the part where that was my problem. Narrator, Peter fled to his room. Waiting around in his new spandex felt too good for him to just stop doing it momentarily. 9:30 a.m. Aunt May, no, no, no. This cannot be. Officer-in-Chief, sorry ma'am, but I had given strict orders to all my men that read as follows: fire on sight. Fire on sight. That's all right. Your Uncle Ben was on sight. Narrator, Peter heard everything that was being said. Peter, I know I'm not supposed to, but I want to circumcise myself for my sins. Why couldn't I do good and protect my only father? Narrator, Peter remained in his room for quite some time. As he was there, MJ decided to visit. As she knocked on the door, Aunt May opened the door with a smile. MJ, hi. Aunt May, no, 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 I say hello to you first, get it right. MJ, I heard about what just happened, and I came here to spend time with you and your nephew. I also brought a bouquet of colorful flowers. Aunt May, oh, I'm far too Jew to give a care about you. MJ, what? Wait, what? When did you become Jewish? You always made it very clear to me that you were a devout Catholic. You would walk to my house every day just to tell me that you were Catholic. Aunt May, no, no, no. I was always a true Jew. Which makes me far too Jew for you. MJ, well, I don't have a problem with Jewish people at all. Anyway, the main reason why I came here was to spend time with Peter. May I please come inside? And may, I suppose, just take your pagan shoes off before you enter. 9:40 a.m.